rather popular video last week. Rather surprised at its popularity. But we'd bring it back, or I'd bring it back for another go round. Because if all goes well, this is going to be hopefully releasing very, very soon to a game near you. Hey, Mark, Will, Swampland, Willie, what is up? And MacGyver. Glad you all can make it tonight. Did a little decorating around the farm since last stream. Finished out the plowing on that field over there. Still no idea how big it is. Made sure I activated the cultivator allow create fields so that we can make the fields a bit more bit quicker this way. And it definitely made sure that we had guidance steering enabled so we could get back to work. Well, Crestwood Rocks, it's nowhere. You could associate it with being in anywhere or nowhere. So it could be like NoWhere, Kansas, NoWhere, Arkansas, doubtful because it's not that flat. NoWhere, the world is flat map. The whole premise of this map is to, well, one, to kind of make a joke to the folks that claim that the only American farming is flat and square and wide open spaces. Well, if that's your idea of American farming, then this has got to be the quintessential American farm map because it is big, 16x, it is flat, and you can make the fields whatever shape you want, however big you want, because it is completely blank. But we're farming down here in this little corner. Farming in this little corner way down here. Let's zoom out. That's our little farm way down there. We zoom in. That's the land that we own. We put the biogas plant in the bottom right corner of our land. We put our pig farms in the bottom left corner, and then the road basically delineates the northern edge of our land. And I would say that that is probably about the size of a third of a standard size map. That is our farm. The micro stutter is a result of this being a 16x map. Apparently, all 16x maps have this micro stutter in them. First for me, because I never really bothered with 16x map. Quite frankly, I think they're just way too silly big because they typically involve fields that are, they don't involve a lot of fields. It only stutters when we are doing field work. When we are actually changing the field layer, does the stuttering happen. Okay. And I went ahead and put up stats up there in the upper corner. You see it's not a CPU problem, not a GPU problem. The only other thing I noticed, Will, is look at the clouds. Clouds will kind of shake and shudder. And it's not because we're moving. Look, I'll get out. I'll stand still. You can see they kind of shake and shudder around. Then they'll settle down for a little bit. Yeah, I'm not moving at all. Clouds, shake and shudder. And I haven't moved the mouse one bit. If I unlock the frame rates, you'll see I have absolutely no problems with frames. We get in though and we start doing field work. Frames do suffer a little bit. Again, because I think that micro stutter is going on. But from what I've heard from other folks that played 16x maps in general, that is common amongst pretty much any map this large. And now, let's see here. Now that we've kind of carved out that field, let's go get the big cultivator. And get this field up real fast. Yeah, for anyone that is new to this map, let's take a tour. Let's take a farm tour of our land. Okay. I'm going to drive the outside edge of our land, and remember our land is only this compared to the whole map. Wee little corner down here. I want to get this cultivator. So basically the premise of this map is to, like I said, poke fun at all of the people that say that North American farming is big flat square fields. And a lot of the people that say that are European in nature. Many of them probably have never been to America to begin with. I can tell you that is definitely not how farming is where I am from. Where I'm from, America is far from flat. In my part of Virginia, the only flat part is going to or from a hill. You're either going down a hill and you're transitioning to go up another hill, or you're traversing between two hills, and as a result, the land has to be flat. So we're at the map border here. That's what's going on there. Now, there are plenty of places in the U.S. that are flat as a board, for sure, but it is not everything. We own just a little square of this map, and on a typical size map, that would be a pretty small area. But given the fact that this is a 16x, it is a rather large land area. We're going to carve out another whole field here behind the farm. We laid out some big pig buildings. We're going to be a pig farm. We could put out another farm there, another little field there. So remember, the BGA is at the far edge of, oops, I'm at the map edge again. BGA is at the far edge of our property. I'm driving toward it now, but you don't see it. Can't see it. I do have my view distances set out to max view distances. Hey Wesley, Paradise Farmers, SIM Noob, what's up? SIM Noob, this is not my type of a map. I'm just showing it off for Will's sake. Will is the map author. I think 16x maps are just too dang big. Some people like them. My idea of farming is not to be harvesting the same field for 3 weeks straight. But if this is your type of map, well, this is literally a blank canvas, 16x, you can do whatever you want with. Imagine this map in multiplayer with respect to everybody could literally have their own size map to themselves. And they could basically build out their own map. Finally, the BGA is popping in here. Our land is about the width of a standard map and probably about a third the height of a standard map. So again, the prospects of this is for you to create your own little world. Nobody's expecting you to farm the entire map. Just pick a corner, do whatever you want with. Then pick another corner, do whatever you want with. That is basically the western side of our land. There's our silo way off in the distance. Yeah, there. I'll go ahead and drive back. And then I'll set the cruise control on. I'll lock in the course so we don't go anywhere crazy. So we'll go to the lands area. So you can pretty much have a huge section. That's basically a 4x map up here. You can have your own 4x map to yourself. This is going to be a little bit bigger than a standard size map. Probably about a half of a standard size map. These are not true fields. They just have painted field textures on them. The way the map is set up, store is all the way to the left. The one sell point is all the way to the right. The one buy point where you can literally buy anything you want is right smack dab in the middle, as is the animal dealer. The rest is up to you. You want more sell points? Place them in the map because we have placeable sell points. You want well, whatever you want, just place it in. That's the beauty of this map's design, is you can literally just build it out however you want. Fields, yes. There. So now we're gonna serious create some fields now. On a good course. Of course, the size of the map, the size of the actual download is pretty small. It's just 200 and some megs because there's not a lot of textures to include. Everything that I've placed down here, I've basically have added as placeables from the mod hub or other areas. But you're only limited by your imagination with this map. I'd mess it up again. I am not concentrating, I'm messing up. There we go. Let's not mess that up. Well, John, this map isn't for everybody. Every map isn't for everybody, that's for sure. This map will speak to a very, very select group of individuals for sure. That's like, small maps like the new Black Sheep modding map. That will speak to a small group of individuals also. There are folks that don't like small, like Ballydorn map that came out last week that we did live streams on. That map will not speak to a lot of people because a lot of people don't like narrow roads, small fields. They want something a bit more spacious, a bit more large. There's folks that only play 4X maps, folks that only play maps that have, no hedges or whatever. And that's the beauty of Farm Sim. There's something probably for everyone. Just have to find it. Well, John, I would argue that there is a lot that's different with 17 and 19. Visually, 19 is a lot better, in my opinion, with respect to how light works, the shadows, the textures on the equipment are a lot better. The conversion or the move from 17 to 19 and the move to the UDEM textures really forced a lot of mods that have been coming up through the various versions to go by the wayside because of the fact that they just looked horrific without the proper UDEM texturing. If you look inside here, this is a base. This is based off of a Giants model. So it's not really the best example. But we have real metallics, real. There isn't much to look at because literally you make the map. The only thing that's pre-built into the map is basically the required items to make it work. Sell point, a buy point, shop, an animal dealer. You don't even really need the animal dealer. You could basically buy the animals from your placeable. Anthony, there's only 2 fields in here. 2 that I carved up. Those 2 things that flank the animal dealer, those are just painted wheat. They're not actually fields. As a result, there are no contracts on the map. Hey, Ohio Bryce, what's up? Well, Farmer John, the way I understand it, unless anything groundbreaking is found, it should be released. Should is the very operable word. Should be released before 2020. I mean, you can see how many passes I'm making with this huge cultivator. And if we just look here, saving does take a while on a map because it is, and you can see how big this field is. When you zoom out, the field is pretty minuscule. But on a standard size map, this would be a pretty big field, for sure. Hey, Victor. Well, MacGyver, you know what's awesome about this? You could put the hills in yourself. I'm not a great terraformer. I barely landscape. I was horrible at painting the ground on this map and trying to have it be somewhat, uniform. But I've seen people do pretty interesting and pretty amazing things with the built-in landscape feature to the point that, you could terraform the map exactly how you wanted it. The hills in, valleys in. There's placeable water planes. You can put water in, rivers, ponds, lakes. That's right, Bob. People could just build their own stuff. I would have backups because, you know, it's hard to undo landscaping. Sky's the limit. Hey, Farmer Dave. Now you're going to find that the sell point gives you the best prices anywhere around, and the buy point where you can buy pretty much anything you want gives you the best wholesale prices that you're going to be able to find also. MCKK, it is 9:21 p.m. on a Sunday, December 29th. That's right, MacGyver. There's not a lot of really textures going on here. Hey, Scooter's Workbench. How you doing? Well, the biggest thing was activating the cultivator create field function. Oh, Ireland. How's winter been over there? It's been kind of a warm spell for us. It was in the upper 60s yesterday. Quite a hot winter so far. Hey Darren, what's up? Carve up another. Carve up another field here. Hey IH100, how you doing? Well, Bob, hopefully there will be a 19 version of Rise of Industry very, very soon. I don't have any details on a release, other than the last I heard is that he plans on releasing it very soon. It's going to be one of our small fields. Before I rotate the GPS 90 degrees, I want to get northern cut. Midtown for sure. Midtown USA 4X version, that will be really exciting to see. I think the stuttering is less than it was last week. Maybe? You guys that watched last week's stream will have to tell me if it is or isn't less. Actually did a fairly significant upgrades since last week. Yeah, get yourself a big plow, a big cultivator. Using a cultivator, get the allow create fields. And just get out here and start carving up the ground. Make the place your own. You go to town farming. You use seasons, you could not use seasons. Now, I will tell you, if you do use seasons on this map, your first few minutes in the map is going to be rather interesting because it's going to take a couple minutes for seasons to swap out all the textures. So frame rates for the first minute or two or three are going to be just utterly horrible, as seasons is basically swapping out all of the ground textures across all of the land area. But once that's done, that should only happen the first time you load up the map with seasons. Oh yes, that was the other caveat. You wouldn't load up with seasons at all, right? You have to start a save without seasons, save it, then activate seasons, then wait a couple minutes as seasons replaces all of the foliage layers across the map. And then after that happens, you'll be lickety split. Hey, Funny Bone, what's up? Oops. There we go. Hit the wrong button. Nathan, it will not be on PlayStation because consoles, for whatever reason, don't seem to take kindly to maps larger than a standard size map. And this is significantly larger than a standard size map. This will be a 16. It is a 16x map. So a standard size map has been, people will call it a 2x2 because it's 2 kilometers square. But a standard map is a 1. Standard map is the standard, so it starts at 1. And then a 4x map will hold 4 standard maps in a square pattern. It is 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers by 4 by 4. And this is basically 16x, which is 4x maps or 8 standard maps wide. But we can make this a potato field and we'll probably get something like 1 million liters off of it. Well, Clinton, there is always the possibility that some type of functionality will be built into FS21. It's pretty doubtful that we'll see it in as a mod for 19 for console, just because it is a script mod. And other than Seasons, really there hasn't been anyone else that has been able to get a script onto console because of how the console manufacturers, Sony and Microsoft, restrict consoles in general. White Lightning, this is serious. Serious for sure. I'm not a kind of person that would put something out and claim it will be public and it never shows up. This is legit. I only had one thing that I ever put in the channel that never showed out to be public, and that was not my fault. That was a result of, well, some very selfish individuals. I'll just leave it at that. Back in Farm Sim 17. Let's carve out some more. So now we got 1, we got 2, 3, we got 4 fields carved out. Let's carve out some more. Yeah, flat map. Anything that's available on console is a standard size. At 100% guaranteed. As far as I have played Farm Sim, pretty much for all of 17 and all of 19's release at this point, it has always been that maps that are released on console have been just standard size maps and standard size maps only. I'm gonna make one big field down here. Big, of course, is relative. I'm gonna drive to the edge of the map. Could be any moment. There we are. Get back to 270. Head back across. There we go. Trying to get my cursor back. It was straying all over my other screens. It's kind of annoying. I mean, we are using a very wide cultivator here. Go. Oh, scooters, I don't have any idea. Because all of our normal mods, they don't tell us. They basically rely on, I guess, the game to have the fields defined to tell us how big of the area is. Apparently the sky shuttering is a result of being this far from the center. Yeah, let's go back to this. We figure 8 maps wide and 8 maps tall would be a normal map. Okay, so go across this 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we half this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's only 6. Well, in 17, I think the general guidance was to not save a course on a map that was this large, because it would basically, I think, crash the game because the course is too big, too many data points or something. So it depends on the size of the field, because again, lots of times you get 4x maps and there might only be 30 fields. And you might have 30 fields on a standard size map and 30 fields on a 4x map. Each field is potentially 4 times bigger. So then if you go to a 16x map and you only have 30 fields, holy bejesus, your fields are going to be like the size of a standard map, potentially. So of course there's going to be massive numbers of data points there to deal with. We're going to extend this field up to our driveway. And we'll probably extend that field up there down to our driveway. But I would be curious for anyone that does want to take on this map to report back, either in my Discord or just in a comment on a video somewhere. Report back what you did, how you built it out and stuff. I would be curious. So far we've got what, about 5 fields laid out, and they're all fairly nice. And we're only using a very small postage stamp corner of this massive thing. I can't stress how big this thing is. After this, I'm going to jump in the truck and we're going to drive. For anybody that's new to this map, didn't see my stream last week. One thing to think about is, imagine if you are a guy that does, maybe you run a dedicated server. You could basically carve it up and make up a bunch of fields, upload the save game to the dedicated server, and let whoever plays on the server with you basically have a complete and custom experience. I mean, you could model those massive, you could have a, probably not real life, but I mean, you can have a fairly one-to-one scale, make your one-to-one scale Welker's farm if you wanted to. A little bit of lenience with respect to, the store and the sell points and stuff. All right, let's turn this off. Hop in our truck. Again, everything you see here I put down. None of this comes with the map. Now, I put all this down, I painted it all. So we're going to drive east to west. We're going to start in the west and drive to our east. That's what I wanted to say. Here we have the shop. We also have a customized trigger at the shop. We know that we're going to run into the map edge over here. There's the map edge. Okay. Anybody want to start a timer? Back up to the edge. And I'm going to floor it. We're going to go top speed to the other map edge. Start your clocks. You know this map is huge when the little dude down there indicating our position is barely moving at 74 miles an hour. Not a lot to look at. A standard map, we'd have been already at the other side. On a 4X map, we would be almost to the edge of the map. And we're still going to be driving for a while. We're not even at halfway point yet, because the road to the north is at halfway. So once we hit that road to the north, that is the second 4X map we've driven across. Hey, Big D 222 100. So when you start the map, this is your sleep trigger up here. Out in the middle of nowhere, there's a rundown bus, a bus stop, and a trailer. That's where your sleep trigger is located. You can sell the sleep trigger, which I did, so I could put down my own farmhouse. So we're 2 minutes in, going 70 some miles an hour. The Acme, we buy it all. You can see, interesting enough, when we're not doing field work, our frames are solid at 60. If I unlock my frame counter, we don't have any problem pumping 150 frames on this map while streaming at 60 frames. But if we do field work, we have problems. Lock it back down. Up now we can see the cell point. I don't know what my view distances are set at, but they're basically set to the max. And this particular cell point will buy everything, all standard inputs. It all gets dumped down the giant hole. And we're about to run into the map. Oh, there we go. So that was that 4 minutes? 4 minutes it took us to drive 74 miles an hour across the map. Now it's booking it at 74, so here we are. We buy it all. And the way it works is you literally just dump it in the hole. Will said that this is kind of a nod, kind of a joking nod at the early farm sim games where you literally dump stuff in holes. Thanks for the sub, Connor. Now let's go 2 minutes back. So then we can drive north, which is basically going to take us 4 minutes to drive north. And again, the only things that you can't change on the map is going to be the road, the 2 roads, and the sell point, the buy point, and the shop area. Those are the only things that are basically off limits. Everything else is the sky is the limit. Well, Das, he's staying tomorrow over at Nexus Mods and a new mod site called Simply Safe Mods. If you don't want to make an account over Nexus Mods, then Simply Safe Mods is probably going to be your best bet. Won't have pop-ups, no ads, no page redirects or anything like that. Hey DB, what's up? Look, I'm even going to signal way out here in the middle of nowhere. Just for fun. Oh, that's interesting. The mirror has everything in the background is black. Oh, how are you liking RDR2 there, DB? Do you, single player or multiplayer? Probably a dumb question. You're probably multiplayer. How did I get 5x clock? Oh, there is our buy silos, way off in the distance. Well, Tom, the map is huge, and it's flat, and it's whatever you want it to be like. This, I don't think so. I don't think this has mud. The animal dealer is halfway to the north. We'd be driving another couple minutes north to run into the northern edge. Here we have, we sell it all. You're buying, we're selling. So most of your stuff you can buy from right here. You buy literally everything from here. Here's your, oh, looky, 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 floaters. Floaters on the trigger markers. This tisk. So there's our animal buy point. And the rest is just deco. Everybody has solar power because, well, you're out in the middle of nowhere. And while we're driving north, go ahead and pull this up and I'll show you the lands again. So land is cheap because we're out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody wants to buy it. So this is literally a, I guess this is two 4x maps, right? Or this is one 4x map right here. The second 4x map, right? And then one, two. Now this is two 4x maps. That would be 8 standard size maps crossed. Is that right? Or is my math completely borked? They've got a big square. You can do a big rectangle. Different size lands. We picked this little small square down here by the shop so we didn't have a 10-minute drive with all of our equipment to the other edge of the map. And you can see the areas that we've carved out for our own fields over here. Still going north. Oh, there we are. Endless horizon. Unlimited potential. The only limitations are your imagination. That's right, the land costs nothing, and you get a huge amount of money for whatever you sell. So it's, if you like making money, this map will make you money. Of course, you can always go in and modify the sell point and make it so it doesn't give you so much money. Again, it was kind of a this is kind of a fun map, not for realistic players, really. Yeah, on RDR2, I haven't really gotten into online because I just feel like online is going to require you to just grind daily. You know, if you don't get on every day to do something, you're just not going to be able to keep up. And if I only ever did one thing, then RDR2 could become the one thing I ever did. The reality is, I could probably go a week to 2 weeks and never fire it up because I've got other things I need to do or feel I need to do. And at that point, online is just like, well, forget it. That would be interesting to be able to have kind of a mission editor. Okay, so Will says the large land area in the northeast is a 4x map. But look at this. That's a 4x map. Okay. It would be cool if this was split up into 4 standard size maps. What do you think? Wouldn't that be if this was 4, then this would be a 4x and it would be like carved into 4. And then this 4x map could be carved into like 8. And this one could be carved into 16. We're going to head back to the farm. We can find it. Oh, I see something over there. Wonder if that's my water tower. We'll head toward that and see what that might be. The vertical spire on the grain silo, maybe. We'll have to see. So yeah, I mean, like I took a day and I grinded out the 12 deliveries for the ATS winter event. That I'm kind of doling those videos out one a day. But that was basically a day, a little over a day of just grinding, doing 12 of those. The last couple of days I've been doing Transport Fever 2 missions, campaign missions. I'm going to try to hammer out the last 2 in Chapter 3 tomorrow. Then they're going to be getting doled out over the next month or so. And then I want to get into it was the vertical part of the grain silo complex. Then I want to get into the free play on Transport Fever 2. I want to get back to also want to get back to City Skylines. There we go. We didn't get too lost. So that only took, what, 12 minutes or something to drive? Oh, gator hunting. Panthers and cougars. So as far as crops go, this has alfalfa has been added. I don't know why people are so enamored with multi-fruit. Technically a multi-fruit map in that it has alfalfa, which you can mow and you can bale. There are no contracts because there's technically no defined fields. Those 2 giant rectangles that have wheat in them aren't technically fields. Have wheat painted. There's nothing there. I don't need to show it. It's empty. Oh yes, and anhydrous has been added. So if you get the anhydrous mod from Nexus Mods, then you'll be able to use anhydrous as a legit fill type. Just squaring this edge up. If we want to, I think the next field we put in is going to be a circular field. It's going to be one of those round irrigated fields. Put a couple circle fields in. Chris, thanks for the sub. Thing in here. Oh, I guess every time you disconnect it, you have to re-enable create fields. Oh no, it's just a hair off. Jan, yeah. You notice Seasons is activated in the upper right corner, upper left corner. Yeah, right corner. So it's got a, well, for the few things that exist on the map, they all have snow masks, yes. Or Seasons masks. That would be the road, and the sell point, the buy point, and the shop. All your placeables, it's going to be up to the placeable if it's properly prepared for Seasons or not. Well, yeah. Then I realized that just because I had Seasons activated, that doesn't mean it's Seasons ready. Hey, Redneck Cowboy, what's up? It's not going to be on the Giants Mud Hub, as far as I know. Alright, let's go draw some circles. Over here where we don't have to worry, whoa, where we don't have to worry about come on. Up and down. And let's just Turn ever so gently. And we're going to make a giant circle. So I don't change my wheel. I should just draw a circle, right? I don't know. I should be able to get to another map. Look at a map. Don't know when. I've got off work until Thursday. Thursday I go back to work. Trying to get a bunch of stuff done, obviously, between now and then. Because once Thursday happens, then I won't be able to create content until the evenings. That circle was a lot smaller than I thought it would be. And somehow I don't think I'm going to match up right. Just because I kind of went straight there for a little bit. All right. Go do another circle. Do a little bit bigger. Try to do a little bigger circle over here. Go back here to the apex of this one. DB, last I heard was he was planning on a release soon. Hashtag soon. And he was very likely not going to do the Giants Mod Hub at this point. I think he's a little frustrated with the Giants Mod Hub. Quite frankly, I don't blame him for being frustrated because we've seen some pretty junky stuff come out of the Mod Hub, in my opinion. While other maps are constantly rejected for supposed issues. And then other maps show up that are, I guess, technically correct, but are horrible. So he was working on creating and doing snow missions. Because now that Seasons has been updated and Seasons is available for console, basically the ability to do snow missions is new. I'm going to run into the map edge, you know. The ability to do snow missions is new, and as a result of snow missions, I'm going to run into the map edge. I'm going to have kind of a screwed up circle. That's the map edge right there. I want my screwed up circle. So he's working on the snow missions, and I guess once he gets the snow missions that he wants to do done, then it's going to be released somewhere. I don't know where. I know he has a Facebook page he set up, or a Facebook group that he set up to show off and folks can keep track of the progress of the map. But beyond that, he did send me an updated copy of the map. It has a few subtle changes, but nothing visually. And aside from that, I think it's just soon. This is what I call this is the special circle. All right, let's try this one more time. One more time, we're going to try a circle field. Why not? Because we've got unlimited space. We see these irrigation fields. I have absolutely no idea how big they are in real life. You see them in aerial views. There's the BGA. Oh no, this is going to be a nice sized circle. Alright, later, DB. Alright, so a half mile in diameter from edge to edge. I have no idea how much wheel I've got into this. I just turned my wheel a little bit and said, all right, let's go to it. Hope I don't run into my other circles. Shouldn't. That's a proper sized circle field. What are you talking about? A saved course play or a feature of GPS. I'm just driving in a circle. I just turned my wheel a little bit. Oh, don't run into my other circle. Oh no. I'm gonna ruin my other circle. Oh, I'm gonna ruin that one too. Well, Chris, I wouldn't say it's freehand. I mean, I've got a steering wheel, so I just turned the wheel a little bit, and then I just left it. Since I didn't touch the wheel, it should draw out a circle. Like that. Only I carved into two of my other circles. Oh well. Okay. Can fix it. Kind of. There, now that's freehand drawing a circle. Beautiful as that is. PDA. Does take the game a little while to draw it in. There's my big circle. There's my messed up circle. I don't know what the name of the map would be. That worked out. Then we just do this. Then we delete all evidence that we had horrific circles. Landscaping, painting at textures is a little wonky. Again, I think it's because the texture files are so big. And it goes to anything that is modifying the textures. Is why field work kind of jerks. That's a byproduct of the game engine. It doesn't like working with files that large. Oh, now there. Now we got a circle. Drop GPS down and carve it out. Nemaw County, Nebraska. Oh, no, I hadn't heard about that. I guess it's probably... I don't do a lot of Facebook. I don't like Facebook. As far as I'm concerned, Facebook is the scourge of all evil. There you go. There's my crop circle. With respect to the full scale of the map. Daniel, I hadn't heard about it. Again, if it's one of those things that's announced on Facebook and only talked about on Facebook, I'll easily miss it because I don't live there. I don't live on Facebook. Might log into it once or twice a week. For like 15 minutes. I'm gonna try to draw another one. Try to find the apex of this circle. Maybe we'll carve out another one. We could put corn on our circle. Start our circle here. Turn our wheel. We'll make it a little bit tighter. We'll make this one a little bit smaller. It'll be a lot smaller. Just a subtle difference on the turn of the wheel seems to make a huge difference on our crop circle. All right, let's change this. Let's make a bigger one. Start at the same point. Just open up the wheel a little bit. There, opened up the wheel just a little bit. And now you can see the radius is drastically larger. drastically bigger now. Again, we just changed the wheel just a little bit. Oak Creek in 17, that was a really nice map. It had lots of interesting things that weren't available on other maps at the time. I think we're gonna fall. Our circle's gonna go into the other bit of land, I think. Jonathan, supposed to be tomorrow. An interesting pattern. I'm gonna try to draw out 2 circles. Then look, we can carve out fields around them. Carve out pseudo normal fields around them. What's happened? What happened here? I didn't change the wheel. Oh, you know what it was. When I was in the escape menu, it wasn't turning. Messed up my circle. Messed up my circle because going to the escape menu. Yeah, Michael, this is on PC. That's disappointing. Completely messed up my whole plan. Oh, this is disappointing. Start over. Starting over, people. Take long. No, I can't go to the escape menu while I'm drawing a circle. Oh, shoot. Oh, that annoys me. I just messed up my other circle that was perfect. What you get for trying to draw geometric shapes in fields. At this rate, the map will be public before I can draw a couple circles on a field. Ah. Let's start it all right here. I think the jerkiness with the painting is because of the size of the map. Oops. All right. Well, I want to draw out 2 circles at least, and then we'll stop. Start down here. It's going to be our apex. Okay, we're going to turn. Feel about that much. Cruise control. Hey, Washington Farmer. Midtown will be a 4X map. So it looks like we're not going to hit the map edge this time. Good. Just need to make sure we don't hit the street. Said we're not going to hit the map edge, but there we go. Oh, we hit it. Alright, we should just done what DB suggested. Start at the map edge. Still have our circle. I didn't change the wheel. I'm gonna have to smooth it out a little bit. Well, Daniel, it's not based off of anywhere. That is the beauty. It's based off of nowhere. Now, there are states that are stereotypically flat. We learned from last stream that lots of folks took, well, not lots of folks, but there were some folks that took some exception to having the name Kansas associated with such a flat map. Almost to the point of them sounding as if they were actually offended. It was rather interesting. But think of it, it's nowhere. It's the quintessential stereotypical American map that is America. All of America is this in many, many eyes of lots of Europeans who will argue up and down that an American map is flat and square. So here's America. Make it whatever you want. I'm going to run into the street. I don't have enough of a curve on this one. Alright, well, I'll work on making this thing a circle at some point. Obviously, I'm going to run into the road. That's not going to work. Oh, that's funny. Definitely getting our half mile across. If not bigger. Yeah, this didn't work out. So I'm going to get this all figured out later. I got a kid who's screaming upstairs, and I got to figure out what on earth he's screaming about. So as Will said, maps should be released tomorrow sometime over at nexusmods.com and simply safemods.com. Look for the map video to show up in my channel once it is released or soon after it releases. Trust me, it's not going to be that big of a video. There's not a lot to show off other than to talk about the concept of the map and everything. So until next time, see how big the circle is. Oh, see, that was a perfect circle. All gone. Now we have this squashed, ugly looking thing. All right, guys, so I'm going to fix it. I'm going to draw out 2 circles later. And until next time, happy farming.